Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael.
Well, first of all, my name isn't actually James Dean. Second of all, I would say I'm short, I'm Jewish, I'm Jewish, I'm Jewish.
Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Am Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Evenu Shalom Alechem.
Stop watching porn.
Hey, okay, first of all, I don't have any problem or anything against Jewish people whatsoever. I didn't make that video, so yeah, that's all I could find that brings across the point that MindGeek is a big monopoly, exploiting people and pushing these disgusting trends, as well as all the pornography itself, of course. Duh. There's also more disgusting things they've done as well. More illegal things. Just to name a few, human trafficking, anything and everything to do with CP, rape, and torture videos. And apparently if you say anything against this whole disgusting sexualized fiasco, you are anti-woman and anti-Semitic. I really do fucking hate society, both in this case and generally. This video is going to be lighter than the other things I talk about on this channel, you know, suicide and depression and stuff, but it's still not too light. This is an addiction, of course. It can ruin someone's life. But yeah, I'm a little better mentally than the last time we've seen each other. Not much better, but noticeably better. I can't believe I depended my happiness on a stupid girl. How stupid of me to do that. Because no matter who, it won't last, and I'll end up in the same situation again and again. I need to admit my own happiness. I need to find a purpose someplace else. Also, I just found out that I am bipolar, so I haven't been suffering from depression these few weeks. I've gotten out of that a while ago. When I mean a while ago, I mean 3 months ago. I have bipolar 2 disorder. I'm either normal or depressed. I never knew because it's so hard to diagnose, unlike bipolar 1. Since you seem mostly normal, especially with my case, since a depressive state has more than one feeling within it. I can feel sadness, anger, bitterness, and an utter shitty feeling, but all under a short-term hopeless despair. And with what I call normal, I feel fine, and in rare cases, happiness. So it goes back and forth throughout the year, and yeah, I feel very uncertain and not okay about this. I feel like I have a disability. I feel like no one will take me seriously anymore. And my parents have been gaslighting me much more than they do normally, calling me crazy and insane, and that none of anything I will ever say or think will make any sort of sense. I feel less than human, and it's permanent. All I can do is eventually take medicine, which you already know I really don't want to take fucking drugs for a mental issue. And yeah, well, of course, manage it. Which is not one, it is two. I can manage it and function normally. Really, we all have something wrong with us. No one is normal. It's just about how you manage it, really. But yeah, I'm doing a little better than I was. I'm not really down at the moment or thinking about harming or killing myself. All I can do is live in the present at the moment. Really, truly, that's all we can do anyways, since the future is uncertain. And the past is over, and living in the past isn't good at all. Found that out the hard way. A week ago, I was this. And at this moment, I'm this. Well, I was always this, really. I hate my life. Anyways, now that I'm mentally stable, I can talk about something that I haven't gone through or am going through. Okay, that's a big fucking lie. When I was in 6th grade, I was watching every site, every genre, every video you can name. I watched it and jacked off to it. I was a horny dog back then. But yeah, I was going through puberty, so my mind was easily manipulated by these websites. Other than that, I hadn't really had an addiction or dependency or anything to where I'm conscious to it. I haven't even really, for the past 2 years. So I'm kind of going to go into this topic a little blind. Don't worry, I have my own addiction to deal with. I didn't know tobacco was going to feel so good when I first started it. But yeah, there's a lot of Coomers out there in need of some guidance, and that's where this whole video comes in. And I'm talking about hentai as well when I talk about this. Cartoons are just the same. It's all pornography. So yeah. A pornography addiction is an addiction model of compulsive sexual activity with concurrent use of pornographic material despite negative consequences to one's physical, mental, social, or financial well-being. Neither the DSM-5 nor the ICD-11 classify pornography as a mental disorder or addiction. Despite that, it is a big problem. Problematic internet pornography viewing is viewing of internet pornography that is problematic for an individual due to personal or social reasons, including the excessive time spent viewing pornography instead of interacting with others and the facilitation of procrastination. Individuals may report depression, social isolation, career loss, decreased productivity, or financial consequences as a result of their excessive internet pornography viewing, impeding their social life. When viewing explicit videos, the dorsal, anterior cingulate, ventral striatum, and amygdala. Okay, I'm not a fucking doctor. Please, give mercy. Become activated, and subjective sexual desire becomes associated to the images beheld. Porn addiction can have a lot of different outcomes. It can lead you towards go-go bars and prostitution and sex tourism. It can make you spend all day in front of the computer searching for better examples of what you like. Orgasm creates a euphoric feeling in our brains. Some of us use that euphoric feeling to make up for or to try to override other sources of pain. Some people are addicted to conquest, getting a new person to have sex with them, picking up new sex partners on a regular basis. Some people are addicted to the intrigue necessary to get away with being an orgasm addict without anyone else finding out. They find that porn is the door to all the other ways they can try to achieve an orgasm over and over, obsessively. They usually feel a great deal of shame about these activities, especially if a spouse or employer or roommate has got them doing it. Sometimes it even leads to dangerous things like trying to seduce underage teens into chat rooms and phone conversations. If something goes wrong, they might get arrested and incarcerated as a sex offender, as they should, because it's fucking disgusting. They need to get help to get out of that hole before they do that, which this happens, but that's a little rare for the majority, so I won't be getting into that. I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear, if you don't stop, you'll become a pedophile, which isn't true, but for some people it does happen. Anyways, it's a constant struggle trying to quit. Unlike any form of addiction, you can do it anywhere, anytime. All you need is to be left alone with internet access, which thanks to smartphones is literally anywhere. Porn addiction is as real as any other chronic dependency. Sure, you're not injecting or ingesting anything into your body, but chronic porn viewing does have a physical effect. Exhaustion of dopamine released in the brain, and the time spent ingesting porn is mind-numbing and leaves you exhausted. After hours of viewing porn on your computer, you couldn't switch off your mind enough to sleep. Internet porn addiction, like online gambling, is easier to fall into because what once involved going out and meeting others face to face can now be done easily and covertly at the click of a button. This availability makes it all the more potentially devastating. So, why does porn addiction happen? Being addicted to porn isn't, strangely, just about sex. Viewing porn is hypnotic in that it narrows the focus of attention and makes us lose track of time. So, people use it for escapism, but in the end, people always want to escape the very thing they were using. If I was having a rough time at work, or been rolling with the girlfriend/boyfriend, I'd use porn to just forget about everything. Eventually, of course, the cure becomes the curse. How do you tell if you're actually addicted to porn? Well, if you feel it controls you and you regularly view porn for hours and often you feel you can't stop, if it affects work, social life, sleep, and even made you miss meals, if you somehow depend on it, then it needs to be dealt with. The problem, someone said with a shaking voice, is that my job needs a lot of very detailed concentration. Porn blunts the senses and leaves you feeling unable to focus or concentrate on anything else. It can also leave you feeling disgusted with yourself. Excessive porn viewing steals time away from actual real life and potentially productive projects. The more porn you view, the more you want to view, and the more extreme it needs to be to give you the same buzz. Like any addictive behavior, porn ultimately never delivers what it seems to promise. First, there's the feeling of building expectation before you start viewing. At first, there is excitement, but then, bit by bit, you start to feel hollow as the pornographic gorge gathers pace. And as with all binges, you start to feel overloaded, loaded with images. when you do finally stop, you feel worse than you did start with as you experience the post-binge come down. But as someone found, there is a way back. Here are 5 key steps to overcoming porn addiction. Feel the consequences before they happen. Ever notice how, in the moments before you view porn, you're stuck in the moment? How you become blinkered to how you're going to feel after viewing porn. How the excitement clouds out the reality of the post-viewing exhaustion, disappointment, shame, or disgust. Next time you feel tempted for whatever reason, walk away from the computer or DVD or magazine and sit in another room. Just for 20 seconds. Close your eyes and really focus on the memory of the reality of how you feel after a porn viewing session. Focus in on the tiredness, the self-disgust and disappointment, the feeling of foggy headedness, sorry about that. Get into the habit of doing this. It's like unmasking a seemingly attractive stranger and discovering the ugly reality. At this point, you may feel conflicted. It's as if one part of your brain is trying to trick the rest of you. So, challenge the porn felony. Step 2 is to challenge the addictive part of your brain that tells you stuff like, it's not so bad. Plenty of people do it. Challenge. You could tell yourself, yeah, and plenty of people self-harm. Or, I don't want to be like all those other people out there doing it. It's okay. You only need to do it for a few minutes. Just have a look. Challenge that with something like, yeah, sure. Look how much time I waste usually. I know that you won't let me get away lightly. It's all or nothing. Come on. You've had a difficult day. You deserve it. Challenge perhaps with, yeah, and this would make it 10 times worse. I need something that is really going to make me feel better about myself. Who's going to know? It doesn't matter. Challenge with something like, well, don't I matter? Because I'm going to know, and anyways, others could find out. So whenever you catch yourself trying to justify looking at porn, learn to challenge it. You can do this by first catching what the attempted phony sales techniques or balance in your mind are that try to get you to view. Write these down, then write really good objections to them. Gain insight into how porn addiction works. Think about when the danger times are. What's different about these times? Are you more likely to be procrastinating from a work project? Or feeling bored, lonely, unappreciated, or tired? Using porn because you are tired and need to rest the brain has the effect of making you much, much more tired. Make a plan for when you feel like this that doesn't involve flinging portions of your life away on porn. If you feel tired, close your eyes for 20 minutes and relax. Have a bath, or even go for a walk. Exercise can often make us feel more energized. Get to know yourself, and when you are more likely to be taken in by the porn's promptings, plan ahead by telling yourself, okay, tonight is the end of a long week, and I'll be tired and maybe a bit stressed. I know it's a porn danger time, so I'm going to the gym after work. Then I'll arrange to meet friends. The more you walk away from porn, the easier it becomes to walk away. Also, think about the times when you haven't used porn, even when you had the opportunity. What was different about those times? Really, think about that, because therein lies the solution. Use your imagination to help yourself. It's often been said that the largest sexual organ is the brain. If you feel genuinely sexy, that was a fucking pain to say. Anyways, then rather than dueling your imagination by passively watching porn, learn to fantasize. You'll spend much less time doing this and can direct your own porn within your mind. You'll find this ultimately more satisfying, but strangely less compulsive than viewing porn. Why is this? Addiction relies on unpredictable rewards. That means that we feel compelled to keep doing something if its rewards are unreliable. So slot machines, even email, can be addictive because they don't always give us the same something worthwhile. If slot machines always paid out, they would be strangely unaddictive. So it is with porn. Some images do it for you and some don't. Your own fantasy can be consistently rewarding and therefore less addictive, saving you time and energy. Go do something more interesting instead. Ideally, what would you rather be doing with your time you've wasted on porn? Furthering your career, perfecting playing a musical instrument, socializing, even watching TV can feel more productive. Time isn't infinite, so rather than spending time worrying about porn viewing or feeling guilty, start focusing on what you really want to do with your time. Suppose someone spent 40 hours viewing repetitive porn, and porn is repetitive. How good would they become if they used those 40 hours to cook or read or write? How fit would you be if you ran for those hours or took dance classes? How informed would you be if you viewed the History Channel for that time? What we put into our heads is just as important as the diet we give our bodies. Now, focus on your real need of life. Focus how many hours you wasted on porn. Focus you are very different than that world of porn. When you start to focus on those things, your brain stops automatically sexualizing and objectifying men and women, which is super helpful and non-stressful. You have confused reality with fakeness, and an example of that is when someone makes voices of pain or sadness, you can easily be fully focused and empathetic and not think about it or apply the sounds they make to that. Because when you watch it, you can't control but to imagine it, think about it, feel aroused. It's horrible. Someone is in pain and you're sexualizing it. You can't help it, but you can cut the roots of it. Side note, the sounds they make aren't real. It's like recorded in another room. Plus, moaning doesn't sound like that. It's like a child in a cartoon getting pulled sideways and swung around. It saves much time. Even when you use only 20 minutes or 10, it wastes a lot more time than that. You end up wasting 2 hours minimum for the pre, the during, and the aftermath. More meaningful relationships, less stress and burden and guilt. You're more positive and happier and stronger. You start to grow and focus on more important things in your life. You gain much needed concentration as well. It is very hard and challenging, but as long as you keep your goal, no matter what, you'll make it. It is possible, and every time you last longer, get stronger. Everything you go through in life gets easier to go through. It doesn't satisfy you in reality. Every week you go without watching porn, reward yourself. And no, I don't mean reward yourself with more porn. Listen to a lovely song that you can only listen to when you reward yourself. Have your favorite snack or meal that you can only have on special occasions or rewarding yourself. But be careful with that one. You need to watch out for your health too, so yeah, maybe for the food you do that a month without watching pornography, depending on what it is, you know. If it's a very unhealthy, diabetes-ridden or high cholesterol-ridden meal, maybe you shouldn't eat that every month. You know, it's something very once in a while. But like, let's say a honey bun, if you're not 40 years old, you know, you can have that once a month. That would be perfect. Watch a movie. Get a drink if you aren't an alcoholic or have an addictive nature and are the age of 21 or over. Go for a drive or a walk, something. Go outside, go out somewhere and do something. Unless you live in the UK and they'll imprison you for walking out your door and trying to take a stroll on the sidewalk in your neighborhood where there's literally no one but you. But I assume that most people watching this video are probably teenagers. But yeah, if anyone watches this video at all. If you fail, then you can try again, and keep trying till you make it. It'll be worth it, I promise. If you want me to give you anabolic steroids, pump out the testosterone and estrogen inside you, cut out your urethra or ovaries and sell them on the black market, then join my Discord server. Just kidding, mates. If you want to get in contact with me and talk about certain things or just whatever, then you can join my Discord server if you want to. You're going to make it. I believe in you. Love you guys.
Stop watching porn.